Hello, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are around the world. Welcome again for this wonderful Monday evening here in Kansas. I want to talk about a very interesting topic today. I want to make this a kind of a routine. Every Monday we can talk about issues from tech, right? Remote jobs, academic admission and scholarship. We talk about things like other life events or happenings around the world, and it's very important that we can have time to talk about this. And that's the reason why I want to make this Monday routine so we can always engage, right? Today I want to address a question, and but before I do that, I want to give a shout out to everyone that have joined the Telegram group. We'll be starting the programming and data analytics very soon. Very exciting, right? So I look forward to seeing everyone who have joined. We try to make it. If you don't have any prior knowledge, that's really good. I want you to feel free, relax, and learn, right? One of the things I know for sure is that for most people, when you talk about programming, it's like a mountain to climb. And I don't blame anyone because the way our system is designed is not really helping, right? So in the curriculum, we should be able to program, at least write simple codes, even in the elementary schools, right? From the primary school, we should be able to write simple codes, and these are very important, right? This helps to for self-development, but we don't have those skills, so most people are fortunate to learn them in their secondary schools. Some don't even learn secondary school. The university, most people are fortunate to even go deep to learn more, but we don't have those opportunity. So learning those skills at advanced age tend to trigger some anxiety and some fear of the unknown, but it's okay. Once you start a journey, right, it doesn't matter when you begin. Once you begin and you give it time, you'll be surprised how much you can learn within a short time. So I have a question today I want to address. So last time I got someone who asked this question in the comment section. He said, Kenneth, good job, sir, but I want to ask how Python programming can be used in companies, industries, and educational sector to boost efficient productivity, and also how it affects the society in terms of enhancing economic growth and development. Thank you. That's a very good question. And I said I was going to reply this person, but if I take time to start typing, that will not help the matter. So I needed to be able to include this in this video tonight so we can talk about this whole. And I love the question because it's the essence of why do we want to go in? Why are we going into programming, right? Why is everyone interested in programming? Why does everyone want to code, right? And I keep saying it. If you don't know why you want to do this, don't bother trying it because it's going to be frustrating to you. You know, you need to know why you want to learn it. Not because everyone is learning how to code, right? Everyone is trying to advance their coding skills, or because of job demands. No, but because we know what we want to apply these skills to. And the world today revolves around skill sets, right? Not degree, not how many advanced degrees do you have. It's about what can you do, right? Show me what you can do. So that's what companies are asking for. Industries are asking for. They want to see an example of what you've done or what you can do. They give you interviews on the spot. They ask you to code, right? So it's interesting. So I'm going to address this question in three categories. The first one, I'll look at I'm going to talk about the advantages of you learning Python programming or any other programming language. Like I keep saying it, programming language is like you are learning how to read and write, right? Once you know how to read and write, what now differentiates you is what are you using it to read? What are you reading, right? You can read a subject like biology. You can use the same idea of reading to read English, right? You can use the same idea to look at geography. And so the idea here is that once you know how to code in one language, right? Let's take, for example, low-level languages like the Fortran, the C++ or the C. If you know how to code in those low-level language, you'll be able to code in high-level language. And what are these high-level languages? We're talking about Python, right? We have Python, we have MATLAB, we have R in between, and then we have some other advanced programming language there. You can talk about JavaScript and Java. So those are good programming languages. The difference is maybe how they call their syntax or how they write. That's what differentiates these programming languages. But I'm focusing in Python because Python is well used, it's versatile. I think it's the leading programming language out there. And if you can code in Python, you can pretty well code in other programming language fast. You can learn others fast. It's simple, right? And then most of the industries and jobs are more akin to Python. I'm not saying you can't, if you have other skill, you can still get good jobs there, right? It's very important to be able to understand that one programming language you learn can help you learn the rest. That's just the goal of this talk. Okay, let me dive down to the question. So what are the benefits of learning Python programming in terms of companies and industries, in terms of in the area of educational sector, and also in society at large, right? Why should the new generation learn how to program, right? And I keep saying it, this is the new generation need to learn how to program. And even the old generation, if I want to use that word, those who've been here before the Gen Z, right? It's okay to know how to code. It's very important because knowledge is not wasted, right? It's always good to learn new things. And I always want to learn new things all the rest of my life. I want to learn what is happening, the latest tech, the latest skill I want to learn. I'm a voracious learner. I'm always ready to learn new things. I don't mind who is teaching me, just let me learn. All right, so in companies and industries, there are many advantages that we cannot overbeat it. We keep talking about these advantages. One of the advantages, if you know how to code in industry, is data analysis and visualization. I try to join this together because most times they go hand in hand, right? Because when we code, when we analyze data, we try to see, okay, what is the result? Like, what is it looking like? Okay, no, we need to still work more. We need to print out. We need to investigate the result. We need to do what we call debugging. We need to bug it. We need to find what's the errors, where's the code having issues, right? So that's why Python programming is very important in industry. So analyzing data is very important for every industry out there. Analyzing data is very important, and this data can be as large as anything. In fact, most tech companies today or industries, they are now looking into even SQL, right? SQL is another high-level language, but more for data analysis and especially for table, right? For querying for querying column data. So that is why we are using a Python programming language. Talk about data analysis. We have a lot of data from different sources. To make sense of those data, we need to use Python as a tool to analyze it. And then we need to visualize the data. And what a visualization, we can plot it, we can map it, we'll be able to see how the data correlates, right? So we can perform some such function as what are the correlation, what are the autocorrelation, and all that. And I'm going to talk about things like you talk about in the business model. Take for example now, any company, and the beautiful thing of Python programming is that you can work for any company that uses data, right? Some company, for example, take for example a company that deals with the production of raincoats, right? So these raincoats, they are looking into, let's say they want to know based on past raining record, right? Rain record or rainfall record from past years. They want to know what it will be like in the next 10 years. Are the business going to still be in sales, right? So what you do, they have data about weather, data about rainfall, they have data about population, they have data about let's say competing companies, right? How many are they? They have data about their location, they have data about mobility, they have data about talk about advancement. So what do? We get all this data together. You get this data together, then you try to model it and see, okay, you use what we call predictive modeling to see and forecast what will be the sales. So you look at past sales, current sales, based on other, and then you train a model. So that is why Python programming, you can do this manually, right? And I keep saying it, in as much as Excel is good, right? They have, it gets to a point it becomes problem. And I'm going to tell you in my next reason why I say Python is very good, why I always want to prefer Python to using conventional Excel. Excel is really powerful. I use Excel even up to tomorrow, right? I can just use it for quick plotting and quick checking. But we want to talk about data. Talk about, I have some millions of data that records that I want to analyze. Right? Those are large data. I want to be able to use my Python to query this data and all that, and special libraries. The second reason why Python is very important for companies and industry is for automation. And that is where Python to me sits up ahead of Excel. Like, I can write my code, right? You write your script, or you build your model to predict sales, or you build your models to see what the future holds in terms of a business, right? Or maybe in another aspect of for what the company is doing, need you to do with the data, right? Machine learning. And then if you want to do this manually, whenever you come, every time they bring you data, you have to start all over again, right? If you're using Excel, sometimes you have to move those rows, or you change tabs, then everything become a mess. Then you have to go back again and begin to recode everything, or that is why it's always a problem. But with Python, once you write your script, you save your script. Next time when you come, you just change your input variables or whatever you need and run your script again, and you generate new results and new plots. And that is why Python is very important, right? Python is good because you can always do this automation. You can automate processes, right? And that is one of the advantages, and it helps to minimize those errors. So if we are doing it manually, or we are trying to use Excel, or trying to use other packages, right, we may have problem, right? Especially when the data is large, or we are doing with what we call it, cloud-based data, right? Cloud-based data. We can write Excel script on the cloud. I don't know if they have those capabilities now, but that is why Python is very important. For automation, is very important, right? The third reason is web development, right? So we're trying to build a web page. For example, I've built several web tools, and those web tools, although sometimes I use JavaScript, sometimes I use Python, depends on what the agency want me to do for my research, right? I know, okay, what do you want to do? They want me to, maybe they want to see, they want to be able to build a web tool. They can be able to see past flood event, current flood event, and also the tool should update itself based on the current date. So it means the tool can live forever, right? As long as there's live, there's Google or whatever, you host it in a platform. As long as that platform have live, right? Maybe on Google, or maybe it's on Amazon Web Service, or you're using any other cloud platforms, there you can host this. And when you host this web application, people can use it, right? So we have different kind of application, right? We have web apps, and then we'll have the other apps you can download. And or web apps, what I mean simply for those who don't know is you just need a browser, right? From your web browser, you can just open it on your tab, and then you just need to have a web browser, maybe your Chrome or Firefox, and you can display them. Some of these government sites, most of them are some of the examples of those are websites. But then we have applications that can be hosted like Safety website. But then they have many functionalities. They have widgets that you can use, right? The third reason here also is for machine learning and AI, right? I think I partly mentioned this earlier before. We can use Python, right, for AI, right? So we train model, like I mentioned earlier. We can train model. For example, in certain research, right, I can train an image. I can train an image, right? I get an image, and I use Python model, develop my own model, and then it can be supervised. Especially, I can make it unsupervised to see how well my model can perform, and then I can see in that image what areas are water, covered by water, what areas are land, what areas are forests, what areas are cropland, right, farmland, what areas are rivers, right, what areas have urban centers, what areas are bare grounds, right. So those are kind of classes I can train with Python, and when I train it, I save my model. So if you give me 1 million images, because I've trained that image and I've validated that image, I'll be able to use that to detect from several more images or whatever it is, which how the water is either increasing, we can see it when we collapse those images and do a time series analysis. So that's why Python is very important. I can't do it manually, right? I can't do it using some other low-level languages. So Python is good there. Another area is cybersecurity, right? So Python is used to develop security tools and monitoring systems, right? Most government agencies or use it to fight attacks, so they build those security systems and cybersecurity systems that are very useful to save, to avoid invasion. So if you talk about the second area is in the area of education sector, right? In the education sector, we use it basically for teaching and learning, right? Most of the classrooms, if you are planning to travel abroad for grad school, I would always advise you to learn one programming language, right? If you learn Python, is very good. And if you want to travel anytime in the future, this skill will help you. You have it in your resume, and then you can show some work. These researchers, professors abroad, all over the world, we want to work with you because they know if you have these skills, the job that other students can take a month to do, you can do it in a day. So those are the kind of students they go for. People who can get a job done in a quick time, they'll give you results, and their results are accurate. Because they know how to program, they know how to prepare. So the difference between a student who knows how to code and one who don't know how to code is not all in the knowledge, right? They could have the same knowledge, but the time taken to get a job done, you see some students graduating as early as possible, while some students spend years and all that. Sometimes the difference is in the skill and the tools they have, right? So that is what makes the difference sometimes. And then the second area is in the area of research, right? We are involved in research, data collection, data analysis, and all that. I'm just writing some script lately. I think I shared a video the last time to just show I was awake up to 3 a.m. in the morning. I was trying to do what we call web scraping, right? Scraping data from another government site, then to save it as CSV and use it to do my own analysis. So that is part of the research, right, in the education sector. Sometimes you can do this research for government agencies. You can build tools for them. We use Python to build those tools, right? So we use Python for our research, and it's very, very innovative. Now, generally, the third area in area of society and economic growth, right? Job opportunities are bound for you, right? If you know how to use Python programming, most companies want to take you, right? You don't need to be the best of the best or the highest. Just know how to use it and be able to use to analyze data and interpret the result very well. Then you're good to go, right? The area of innovation, right? So Python programming, the benefit of Python is you're always thinking new ideas, and that's the truth, right? When you build a web application, get a job done, you want to think about the next one, because you learn from this one. It will open your mind. You start asking those questions that are not asked, right? You want to, what if I do this way? How can I extend this? How can I get this done? So those are the innovations that help to drive society, right? You start experimenting. If it fails, okay, next time, why did I fail? I can do better. And most of the discoveries that are done in the world have been accidental, right? Sometimes they are deliberate research, right? Sometimes they are accidental discoveries, but they've helped to shape the world, right? And that's part of it. Then startup, right? Python have extensive libraries, right? And that's the benefit I want to talk about today. So if you want to do some, for example, you want to do your mathematical modeling, right? You in Python, you can write your code from scratch. You can do it, for example, a simple mean, right? What is mean? What is average? Average is simply the sum of the numbers, right, divided by the number of the numbers, right? So but in Python we have those inbuilt libraries like mean. You can give it a set of numbers and just call the mean inbuilt library, and the mean will calculate it for you. You don't need to start writing this code. You can do the variance, the covariance. You can do all those down. It's okay to have the mathematical idea behind it, but those are already inbuilt for you, right? And that is why you can write large code there. So we also talk about the area of data-driven decision making, right? So in the US, and I know in other developed countries, and I'm also sure even in Nigeria, most of the decisions are data-driven, right? For example, we want to know how many jobs are created, right? How many startup companies do we have there? what can we do, right, to create more jobs? What kind of job do we create? Those decisions are not just, you don't just wake up and say, okay, we are going to start up maybe traders money. We want to be able to open, let's want to open new roads. We want to be able to, no, they take a lot of things into consideration, like what is the population of that area, right? How many people are employed, right? How many jobs are already available in that area, right? What kind of job will benefit these people? So those, they need some kind of decision making tool, and Python programming is one of them, to be able to run those analyses and come up with the best decision. And that is why that's why Python is very good. In the area of another area is global connectivity, right? Python facilitates cross-border collaboration, enabling international research and trade and all that. You can be anywhere in the world. We can always collaborate with in terms of using Python, because I understand the syntax, be able to understand your code, your script, and then these are very, very important thing. I think this is to answer the question that I was asked by one of the people who commented yesterday. Now, what are the benefits of Python in the industries, and the tech companies, and also the benefit in the education sector, and benefits of Python programming also in the society. And I hope this will help every other person to gain insight to why Python is very important. And then not just Python. I know I keep hitting Python. Python is just like my sample, right? My sample of the entire population. So there are several programming language there, but I just pick Python as the sample from the entire population. And there are other languages, right? If you're conversant with using Java, you can stick with Java. The only difference or JavaScript is that you declare variables, right? You always declare variables and so you can assign those variables. So that's what I want to talk about tonight in that regard. And I think if you have any question regarding tech and those programming languages and how they can benefit you, feel free to shoot me a message. I think I try as much as possible to answer as many people I can answer. And then I always create time to make one or two posts, because I want to be able to give back, I want to be able to support people, and able to share knowledge and be able to help to better the society. And that's why we are making all this effort to encourage everyone to take a step. Okay, I hope you have a beautiful week, and I'll see you again next Monday. We'll treat other issues around the world. Other issues could be in academia, we don't know yet. So we'll find an interesting topic. I have something to talk about, a very funny thing to talk about, but maybe this one I will just reserve it for the next time, and then we can discuss those. But I hope you stay safe, and see you in the next one. Bye bye.